Claude from Anthropic. Yesterday, they released Claude Opus 4.1. So Anthropic are a competitor to OpenAI. Within the Claude family, they have a number of different models, or models really. They have Opus, which is their powerhouse. That's a really powerful one. It's fantastic. And then they have Sonnet, and then they have Haiku, which is their very small model. The main two for the last few months have been Sonnet and Opus because they got upgraded to version 4. And we've just heard Opus 4.1 has been released. I don't think Sonnet 4.1, so just Opus 4.1. So Anthropic are interesting in that they, well, at least according to their CEO, they do not make adjustments in between releases. So other models, especially ChatGPT, they will tweak things. So you'll get, if you go on Reddit or Twitter or whatever, sometimes you wake up and everybody's, ChatGPT's dumb, it got stupid all of a sudden. This is because in the background, they're tweaking the knobs. They are changing the guidelines, they're changing what works, adjusting things, and sometimes it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, that's when people notice, when suddenly it starts spouting nonsense. And then they'll go back in and they'll tweak things. Again, Claude or Anthropic as a whole work differently, supposedly, in that they only make changes on these releases. So it has not changed. The model has not had any additional training between 4, which was 2 months ago, roughly, maybe, and 4.1, which came out yesterday. So 4.1 is slightly better. This is the problem when we reach this kind of level of AI, is that it gets increasingly difficult to blow people's socks off. So they've done a software engineering benchmark. Sonnet 3.7 had an accuracy of 62.3%. Cool. Opus 4, which is what we've had for the last 2 months, it's been their best model, has an accuracy of 72.5%. And then Opus 4.1, which just came out yesterday, has an accuracy of 74.5%. So a 2% increase in accuracy. Cool, great, fantastic. Just not very exciting, unfortunately. So they brought out this news that they've increased their efficiency of their model by 2% in software engineering benchmarks, but it will be across the board. They've made it slightly better, which is great because we have a better model for the same cost. So good. Although they did add usage caps last week, but that's a slightly different matter. But it's just hard for them to compete with the news like OpenAI coming out with their new open source model and probably coming out with GPT-5 tomorrow. This is why when you look at Google Trends, I'll pull it up actually because it's interesting. So Google Trends for the different AI companies. So you can look at ChatGPT and you can compare that to, we can do worldwide past, 90 days. So if I do Claude language model and then Grok, do Grok chatbot, sure. So the interest over time for ChatGPT is between 50 and 75 out of 100. And it peaked, I've got a peak here on June the 10th, 2025, when it went to 100. What happened then? There must have been some kind of release. There's also, it's peaking right now. So August the 6th, ChatGPT's interest out of 100 is 91. Whereas we look at Grok and Claude and the relative index, so this is not absolute, it's relative, is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I think Grok maybe peaked to 3 when it was calling itself Hitler. But the amount of public interest, the amount of people who actually think about Grok and Claude and Gemini, and even lower than that, things like Mistral, the normal public don't think about these companies. ChatGPT has basically become synonymous with artificial intelligence, which is wrong. Like, it is not all of AI. It is just one language model. In fact, ChatGPT is not even a large language model. It's a chatbot built upon a large language model, but it's basically become synonymous with artificial intelligence in the public perception, in the same way that Google basically became the idea of search. We don't talk about other search engines. We just talk about Google. So I feel bad for when Anthropic release a model like Claude Opus 4.1. The only people who care are the people who are in, coders and people who are in kind of the AI sphere and who talk and pay attention to this kind of thing. But the rest of the world will not care. I say this as somebody who mainly uses Claude. Claude is my primary model because I love Claude. So for me, this is great. A 2% increase in intelligence. Cool. But they're going to get blown out of the water again by ChatGPT. And unfortunately, at this stage in the development of large language models and generative AI, publicity matters. And this is what Sam Altman is really good at, with tweets like the one that I just went through, where he says, we have a lot of new stuff coming for you over the next few days, something big but small today, and then a big upgrade later this week. He's good at drumming up interest and drumming up excitement for these models in a way that the other leaders, the other main faces in AI are not. Probably with the only exception to that would be Elon Musk, but I don't know if he's necessarily bringing up positive associations with AI.